Hi, Liz.
Hi, Court.
And hello, B-Critics fam. Welcome to another episode of the B-Critics podcast.
This episode marks the beginning of our Harry Potter season and the B-Critics Harry Potter era. The Harry Potter era. Yeah.
Harry Potter era. And I'm so excited about it. I can't even begin to tell you.
This
is
is like
my
26 years in the making.
Yes. And 26 years, not because I'm 26, I'm actually 27. It's 26 because the books were written in 1997.
That's when the first one
Yeah.
came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom actually read these books to me when I was a kid. She
That's so
read them to
sweet.
me
Did she do
like
accents and everything?
she did British accent, and she had like voices for all the characters and everything. So
Cute.
these have always had like a very, very special place in my heart.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we'll continue with the episode. We are as a podcast in our growth era. So you can help others find us by sharing the pod with a friend and leaving a rating or a review on our whatever streaming platform you choose. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to stay up to date on all of our episodes.
You can also follow us on social media because we have that too. We're on Twitter, though not super active. We're very active on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can find us at B-Critics Podcast. Hit the subscribe button and follow our Instagram for all the best movie content.
So enough of the boring stuff. I think it's time to introduce our guest and get talking about Harry Potter.
Woo! Okay, so we have a returning guest for this episode, and you might recognize her and know who she is. Her name is Holly. So, hi, Holly. Welcome back to the
Hey y'all.
podcast.
Hello, B Critics. What
Hi,
is
Holly.
up?
Welcome back. It's
Excited to be here.
We're literally so excited to have you here.
In the studio, ready to record. Let's go.
Ready to
Yes.
roll. Okay, so we haven't had you do this yet, but we've been doing this with our recent guests, and so it's time for you as well. So we're going to have you do a little intro for yourself and then also tell us like how you're related to the movie industry.
Okay. Well, I'm Holly.
Hi,
I'm a
Holly.
teacher, so I don't have any connection to the movie industry. I'm a viewer of the movies.
And
A viewer of
podcast
many
guest.
movies. And a podcast guest. And I'm a critiquer of the movies. So, I honestly think that the people who watch movies are way more important than real movie reviewers because
Yeah.
we're the people behind the movies. We're the people hyping them up. We're the ones
Mhm.
posting the reviews on Facebook and TikTok, and honestly, those are more meaningful to me. So,
We shit
I
on the
think that
critics all the time, right there with you.
my role in the movie industry is more important than even those in the movies industry. So,
Your role's more
Honestly,
important than me in courts too.
there would be no
exactly.
movie industry without the viewer. So you're
Yep.
exactly right.
Valid. That is it.
All right. So, Holly, go ahead and introduce our movie and then we'll go from there.
All right. This episode, we are talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The first one.
Number 1, baby.
So excited. Okay, Holly. So before we really get into the movie, we have just a couple of questions to help our audience get a better understanding of who you are as a witch. Okay.
Not a witch, but okay.
Yes, you are.
Today you are.
Today we will cosplay.
I mean,
Holly.
we're dressed up, so kind of.
Yeah,
Yes.
you guys are dressed up. Didn't get the memo. Didn't know we were dressing. This is why you're supposed to text people
I know.
before
I
you
should
go
have told
anywhere.
you.
And you're like, hey, what are we wearing? This is why at 28 years old, I still text people and I'm like, hey, so what are we wearing today?
Yeah.
Sorry to
Anyway.
not fill you in. Okay,
It's okay.
Holly, we need to know, are you a longtime supporter of the Harry Potter series? And what is your relationship to Harry Potter?
I am, if you will, a Harry Potter virgin. Gasp! I guess not anymore. I lost that yesterday. So yesterday I watched Harry Potter for the first time in my life. I made it 28 and a half years, really almost 29 years without seeing Harry Potter. Had no context to the movie. I knew that like there were wizards, there were the weird robes, people were in houses. I've seen like the TikTok trends, like wands, butterbeer. I know about butterbeer. I know that Voldemort is bad. But the same way I think that Voldemort is bad, Darth Vader is bad. I also haven't seen the Star Wars movies, so those are the same to me.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Okay,
blowing
Holly.
Courtney's mind, Holly.
Bombs are being dropped right now.
So what I have to say about this is I'm so excited to discuss this movie with you because as somebody who has seen these movies and read these books so many times, I get to live vicariously through you experiencing it for the first time ever. And you can't really recreate that except one time in your life. And I don't even remember mine. So
I know.
I'm excited.
Wild. Like, it's crazy. I've now seen it 1.5 times.
1.5.
Which is
wow.
wild. Yeah.
All right. So the next question is arguably the most important question we're going to ask you today. And that is, what is your Hogwarts house? We sent you the quiz. You took the quiz.
Yes.
And so now you know.
I not only took the quiz, but I am now a subscriber to whatever
To the
that
Wizarding
website
World.
is, and I now get emails. I now get Harry Potter emails.
You'll get like multiple a day.
Today I got some and I was
ready
like,
for that?
oh, I haven't even watched it for 24 hours and I'm already getting emails. So I'm just gonna pause for a brief moment and let all the listeners just ponder and make their guesses of what they think I am, since you guys know me so well. Okay, I am a Hufflepuff.
Yay!
Hufflepuff.
All right, so we've collectively gotten 20 points for Hufflepuff since there's 2 of us.
We're winning.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm. I did learn that in the movie. You get points.
You do get points. So if you didn't tell already, me and Liz are wearing our Hogwarts robes for our respective houses. So Liz is also a Hufflepuff. Holly,
Yay.
congratulations. You have a
Friend.
sister also in your house.
Yes.
And then I'm wearing my Gryffindor robes. I've also got my Hogwarts or
Quidditch jersey.
Gryffindor Quidditch jersey. It's number 7, Harry's number, you know.
The magical number.
Yes, the most magical number. Okay, Holly, next question. As a student at Hogwarts, you get to bring one pet if you would like, and that could either be a owl or a toad or a cat. Which would you prefer?
This was a very easy question on the little quizzy quiz. I picked a cat, but the white cat, because it was majestic. It was
like
beautiful.
Marie from Aristocats.
Yes, and Marie is my middle name, and Marie was yep, you're right. That was a spirit animal.
Yep.
I would also pick a cat for sure.
I gotta go owl. It feels useful.
Yeah,
very practical.
They were pretty clever. I'm not a bird person, and the flapping of the wings and everything, and the squawking, not really my thing. I really was thrown off with the toads.
Yeah.
I just why are we bringing toads? What purpose does a toad?
They never really come into play. There's no purpose.
It's never explained why you would want a
Not
toad.
useful. Not useful.
It made me think of I was like, maybe there's something to do with those chocolate frogs, the chocolate frogs. But I don't know. It was odd, weird, strange. Toads are weird.
I think there's an extended, so like this movie has an extended cut version of it. I think there's an extended cut where they have like a Hogwarts choir come out with like these giant toads that they're like holding.
Seen that.
And like they're like croaking like really loud and singing in the choir. I don't think you would have seen that, Holly, but
no,
I have seen that.
Sounds odd.
I think it was like only on the DVD.
Okay, yeah, weird. I paid $4.99 to watch this on Peacock, so I'm subscribed to that too. I'm actually making a connection right now. Okay, so throughout this whole movie, we'll talk about it, but the whole sense of magic just had me cackling and laughing and giddy the whole time. But like magical creatures and like the Princess and the Frog, like toads kind of like do have a reoccurring theme in some magical. Maybe
They're a thing. I don't know why.
there's like a
Yeah.
Disney movie about a toad, like the toad and there's a toad. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so maybe
not
they're a
looking at
magical
one.
creature. I'm gonna think
Yeah,
about
they
it. I'll
just
get back
are
to you guys.
magical.
Meanwhile, Ron's over here bringing a rat to school.
Yep.
Because that's cool.
Infesting Hogwarts with a nasty rat.
That was just so like
Scabbers.
he's already a redhead, and then he has like a bunch of siblings, and he's
Scabbers.
wearing hand-me-downs, and he brought a rat. Like
A
he's not
hand-me-down
helping
rat.
himself out.
It literally used to be
That is
Percy's.
the hand-me-down rat.
Yep. And he's kind of like a little odd, little quirky, so he's not helping himself out.
I like Ron.
Of course.
All right. Last question of your quiz. If you were a student at Hogwarts, who would your mentor be? Just based on what you know from the first movie.
Yeah, I feel like I need to. I mean, I have an answer, but I do think that with time, I was thrown for a loop at the end. I won't lie. So maybe with some more time, I will have a better answer. But right now, is it Professor? It starts with M? What the girl?
McGonagall.
McGonagall. Yes, her.
Yes.
She had wisdom and she was strict, but had empathy. So there's my
Yeah,
mentor.
and Maggie Smith is the best too.
Yeah, she's really
so
cool.
good.
I think I'd also
Liz?
go with McGonagall.
Really?
Yeah, I like her.
Nice. I think
pretty cool.
my pick for this movie is probably Dumbledore, but
Mhm.
my pick for the overall series is somebody different who has not appeared yet in this movie.
Okay,
more to
more
come.
to come. More to come.
More to
Yeah.
come.
So you have to listen to the next episode, and then the next one, and
Maybe
the
it's
next
in
one,
the
because you
next
never
one.
know.
Yeah, keep listening.
Could be in
Not the next
could be
one.
in 8 shows, 8 movies.
Okay, let's get into the movie of the episode.
All right. So before we launch into our full discussion, I'm going to give like a quick little. I'm going to say quick. It's longer than usual, but a quick little like, this is what happens in the movie. Okay. So, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you live, introduces us to the wizarding world, to the magical creatures, witches, and wizards that are hidden in plain sight, waving magical wands and riding broomsticks. And to 11-year-old Harry Potter, who has lived a rather dreary life up until this point. Harry's parents died when he was only a baby, and he was forced to live with his extended family, the Dursleys, who refused to acknowledge the wizarding world as a whole. However, when Harry receives an acceptance letter to Hogwarts, he discovers that he is a wizard Harry and will be attending Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. We follow Harry through his first year at Hogwarts, making friends, getting into trouble, learning how to make a feather float, but most importantly, uncovering the dark arts and how Harry is involved. Will Harry be able to stop Snape from getting that stone or not? Only one way to find out.
So this movie came out in 2001, and it's got a 2-hour, 2-hour and 32-minute runtime. It had a budget of $125 million.
That was a lot at the time. Like,
yeah,
movies
big
just
budget.
have like $100 million budgets now, but like back then that was a big budget.
Yeah, and then its box office numbers was $947,000 or $1 million.
Million,
Not
947 million.
947 million.
That's wild.
Almost $1
Like
billion.
1,000. Wow, they lost a lot of bucks there.
Yeah, it was the highest grossing movie in 2001, and at the time, it was the second highest grossing film ever.
Wow. What beat it?
Yep.
Do you know?
Mm,
Oh wait,
I think
highest grossing
Titanic.
movie ever. Never mind. You said ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Titanic. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know at the time what it was, to be perfectly honest with you. The director of this movie was Chris Columbus. Love that man.
Christopher Columbus. That's so funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
Listen.
interesting because he didn't have like a ton of credits before this, and like people like Steven Spielberg were like considered for this director role, and then they gave it to Chris Columbus. And his name is funny, but he is so good.
That's funny.
Opinion.
Man, that's unfortunate. His parents named it that. I bet he got so made fun of as a kid. Okay.
Oh, probably. I watched this with Hayden, and like the opening credits start, and Hayden's like, oh, Christopher Columbus. And I was like, Hayden, haha, very funny. He's like, no, it's on there.
That's so funny.
And then we get a beautiful, beautiful score by John Williams.
I thought it
who
was
is
literally genius. Like,
agreed.
like how did he even come up with that? And now it's like iconic.
Iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Like I
iconic.
started. Okay, I'd never seen the movies, but when it started, I was like, I know this. Like where? I know this music. Where have I heard this music? And then
Halloween.
yeah, honestly, and then I like honestly, a lot of the times music, I don't know, I just like tune it out in movies. But in this one, like I felt it the whole time. Honestly, this almost felt like a multi like sensory like journey.
Experience.
Yeah, experience. I felt like, and I was like, I'm not really tasting anything, but like I'm feeling, I'm hearing, I'm seeing.
I mean, you're
You
looking
gotta
at a
get
lot
you
of
some
food.
Birdie's box of beans or whatever they're called.
Yes.
Birdie
Oh
box-
yeah,
Every
the
flavor
beers.
beans.
Every flavor
Yeah.
beans.
Okay. Are y'all ready to get into the movie?
Yes, ma'am.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay. So, in the first Harry Potter movie, the magical world is created, and we get to see it on screen for the first time ever. So, let's start by talking about one of the most important aspects, not only of this film, but of the entire series, and that is the casting that Chris Columbus had the task of doing, and all the child actors that we get in this movie. And so Chris Columbus held mass auditions for the child stars. He screen tested thousands of child actors across the UK
Europe.
because Joe Rowling was like very specific. Like it had to be UK actors.
They were just so young. And I know that's like the point, but they were like babies.
They were.
And I feel like, I mean, if I had to watch this in 2001 when I was like, what, 6 years old, however, I probably would have thought they were so cool. But like watching it now, I was like, those are babies.
Emma
Little.
Watson was 9.
Nine.
Yeah.
Literally 9 years old.
She looked
like-
really young.
It just, I was wild. I was like, these children are so young.
And they're so cute.
They are cute. They also kind of annoyed me a little.
They are
Just 'cause
children.
they're in that like annoying stage of life. It's fine. But they I don't know. I never watched the book or I never read the books or anything, so I don't really know any of that. But just from like one watch, I think they were well cast. I think they did fabulous. So
Very
I was
well.
impressed by them.
One thing that always blows me away by this movie is there's no like child actor in it that I think is like a bad actor. Like they're all good. Like that doesn't take you out of the movie at all.
Yeah.
There's like a couple moments where you're like, but like overall they are really good. I also saw where I think it was like in an interview I watched maybe where they said that in order because the kids like to keep them like engaged or like to make sure that they got the right angle, like they had to have 3 cameras on them anytime they were shooting. So that if one angle was weird, they had like different ones to work with, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, they used a ton of cameras
really
to make
smart.
this movie.
I feel like it would be hard with kids to like, okay, now do that exact same thing again.
And
And they're like, I'm annoyed. Like, yeah.
And they had to use like, so they had an interesting cast because they had all the kids and then they had like these really incredible, like experienced actors also. So they had to like use those actors to like manipulate the blocking and like the camera angles to like help make it all happen basically.
Yeah. Like traveling back to the actual casting process.
Yeah.
the three main characters, each of them has like a very unique story about how they were cast in the movie. My favorite is Rupert. He
Okay.
plays Ron, and he actually got an audition. He like heard that kids were sending in like screens of themselves, which is just like where you film yourself and send it in, and then you'll get like an in-person audition. And so he was like, I could do that. Yeah, whatever. And he got an audition because he sent in a tape of himself dressed up as his drama teacher, and he did a rap about how much he wanted to be in the movie.
That's fun.
That's so
That's
cute.
fun.
I know. And they were probably like, this kid is literally Ron Weasley.
Yeah, because like, first of all, his name is Rupert. Second of all, I'm sorry, I'm gonna roast him hard. We have too many R's going on here. But
Rupert.
and then he's rapping, Rupert rapping for the role of Ron.
We love
What
an alliteration.
alliteration. Yes, I am a kindergarten teacher. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Oh man, that was good. Okay.
Liz, do you know the other stories for Dan and Emma too?
I know Dan's. Dan was like
Asked kind of to audition, right?
kind of, yeah. So all three of them had been in like commercials and things before. And Daniel's family was actually like friends with one of the casting directors, and they were at the same like play or musical or something, and like ran into each other. And Daniel and his family were sitting like a few rows in front of the casting director, and Daniel said that he would like look back and the casting director was just like staring at him because he was like, that's my Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I have to have him. And Daniel Radcliffe's family like didn't want him to be in the movie. I think they weren't like ready for like that.
Yeah.
They were like, he's going to be an actor, but like we don't know if we're ready for him to be in this big movie. But
Well, they knew it was
ended
going
up
to be
saying
like
yes.
a lifetime commitment, you know?
Yeah. And
Like-
I saw too, okay, there's a like, I don't even know how many years it is. I guess it was a 20-year anniversary maybe. And they did like a movie, like a documentary where they like, it was like a reunion type thing, and they like asked them questions and stuff. And I don't even know where I was going with this. Where was I
about
going with
asking the
this?
kids, auditioning Dan,
Auditioning
Emma.
Cricket.
His parents didn't really want him to be in it, maybe.
Yep. Nope. It's gone out of my brain.
That's okay.
Circle back.
Hermione, Emma Watson, she was like an avid reader of the books, right? Like she was like obsessed with the fact that she was going to be in this play.
I just remembered it, but I'm going to let you
this
finish and then
movie.
I'll come back to it.
Yeah. Like I think she like memorized like everybody's lines like all throughout. Like you can see her like mouthing people's lines like in other parts of the movie that like aren't her lines.
That's wild because she plays Hermione, who's like smart and like very much like that. You know, who'd be like,
yeah.
well, I know the answer to this. She'd be like, well, I know your line because I read it because I studied it.
Yes.
Immortal
that's exactly
means
how she
this.
was.
Yes. At like 8 years old, 9 years old.
Okay, so I just remembered where I was going with my story. In this documentary, they talked about how like immediately after it was announced that these three were going to be the leading characters, they had to be like hidden away because people were obsessed immediately. And these are like children, like 9 and 10 years old. And so like them and their families had to be like put up in a hotel and like full security 24/7 like for a few weeks after it was announced. And like at least they had the forethought to think like we should probably have a plan for like once we announce this what we're going to do. But I just think that's so crazy that there was that much hype like before that it wasn't even announced yet and people were just like ready.
That's
just
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, people were obsessed with the Harry Potter books. Like,
I mean, still are.
It was so cool because it was like getting kids like into reading again was like the big thing. And I think when these movies came around, they were just like, especially I can't imagine like being in the UK, like where the auditions and stuff were going on. Like I bet it was just mad.
And where they were filming it.
Yeah. Did they film it in the
So-
UK? I can't remember if you said that.
Some of it, yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, I think all of it.
Yeah, they filmed all of it in
Yeah.
the UK.
Yeah. Some of it was just like in a studio versus like out in the
Yeah.
wild. Yeah.
Yep. So Holly, a couple things. One, we're gonna try to do this every episode, but we need to do a Ron temperature check. And we've done. I feel like we've talked about him a little bit, but I need to get your take on Ron in this movie, real quick.
What are we like?
Like, how do you feel
Like,
about
what-
Ron? Like as a
Like
character?
him? Do you not like him?
He's quirky. He's a little odd. I mean, like, I've heard the memes, I've heard the TikToks, I've heard the jokes. Like, I knew coming in, like, Ron was like, kind of like weird. I don't know. He serves a purpose. He has a great purpose to him. I don't know. I'm like mid.
That's really
midway with
mid.
him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mid.
I think
Is
Ron
that
is
what the kids are saying?
adorable. I think he's adorable in this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I liked Ron.
Maybe.
I think I need him to grow on me. Maybe if I watched it another halftime, I would feel different.
Yeah, finish watching it.
He
Liz,
was
I
just
feel
like
like Ron is,
everything
like,
I
one of-
expected. So
Oh,
Mhm.
cute.
he was, yeah.
Liz,
I
feel
liked
he's,
his like
one of your
redeeming
favorites.
moment with the chess game where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I know what to do. You're like, oh, Ron. You've just been like a bumbling idiot up until this point, but good at chess.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
He definitely was like a great side character, like great best friend.
Yeah.
Definitely is not a main character.
He was mean to Hermione though. He had
Yeah,
that
he
one
was.
moment and he made her cry.
I know. But like that's like you just know they're gonna be like come best friends later in life because
Yeah.
of how like that they started out. You
Mhm.
can see it
Okay,
coming.
Holly, we're about to go through the rest of the cast, but before we do you have a favorite character in this film?
No. I mean the obvious one I would say is like Hermione,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like not ready to say that yet. I feel like I need to watch more and like
Yeah,
because like
fair.
that's so obvious. Like it's obvious that I would like Hermione, but I'm trying not to be like basic and obvious. So like we'll say that for now, but like we'll circle back.
Okay.
I
Maybe
love
Ron will be my
Hermione
favorite.
in this film. I think she's
I was about
so
to say
adorable.
Hermione is Courtney's spirit animal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is. My
I could see
hair
it.
used to be like really crazy when I was younger. And so my family, and I was kind of like a know-it-all. So my family would call me Hermione a lot.
Like I imagine if Courtney pulled up a picture of her younger, like she would look like Hermione.
Yeah.
Like I already know. I just could tell. Just
I have
naturally.
Hermione
Just 'cause of the way
Granger's
she
wand
is.
right here.
Pull it out. Pull it out. Show us.
I was going to save this when we talk about all of it.
Are you gonna do hey, I'm blind. Can you fix my eyesight so I don't have to wear contacts anymore? What's the little
Yeah.
spell?
Reparo.
Which pissed me
Well,
off. Okay, break.
Oculus
Why did she
Reparo.
fix his eyes and then he puts the glasses back on?
No, she fixed his
She
glasses.
fixed his glasses. His glasses were broken. She fixed his glasses.
I watched it 1.5 times and I didn't. Okay, so my never mind. Forget
Okay,
it.
so
I was really
the
mad.
The cast.
Okay,
So we
wait,
got-
actually, wait. That's funny because my other thought was like he had all this money when he went to the little stores. Why didn't he buy new glasses? You know, like when he got all his supplies. Why did he buy new glasses? He's rich now, apparently. Anyway,
He's
okay, moving on.
11. Okay, he's
I'm
got a
glad
lot of
we
stuff
cleared
on
that
his
up.
mind.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
And he had Hagrid
Okay.
as his like ushering person who like
Yeah.
who put Hagrid in charge. Come on.
Another concerning decision.
So
But also,
Hagrid,
who's
we'll talk
letting
about him.
11-year-olds run around? Another bad decision. 11-year-olds should not have this much power. Okay, Hagrid.
Hagrid is played by Robbie Coltrane.
Love him.
I think he's great, fabulously cast.
Perfect. I did see that Robin Williams wanted that role. And that would have been
Really?
a
Interesting.
fabulous role for him. But he's not from the UK, so
No,
sorry,
can't
Robin
be in
Williams.
the movie.
I think he was a perfect Hagrid for what you can
Mhm.
do with a Hagrid.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
names in this movie really got me. I have a bone to pick.
Rubius Hagrid. Okay. Then we have Albus Dumbledore, who's played by Richard Harris.
R.I.P.
And I think it's really iconic that Richard Harris is in this movie. So he said that he almost didn't take the role, but he ultimately accepted because his 11-year-old granddaughter threatened never to speak to him again if he didn't take it.
That's
Aww.
funny. That's cute.
Mm-hmm. I love his beard, his like wig and
Mhm.
beard. He looks so good.
Yeah, I thought he was like perfect for Dumbledore. Like absolutely perfect.
I agree. He's like the perfect Dumbledore. Then we get introduced to the Weasleys in this movie. We see
I
all of
loved their
them.
introduction. I thought they were so cute. You're just like
I didn't know.
know.
I again, first time watching it, so I didn't know like he had so many siblings. But
there's
like
a lot of them.
it's so fitting. It's
And he
so
like brings up his
fitting.
brother that lives in Romania and you're like there's more.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, he has
so
two older
perfect.
brothers
Wild.
that aren't even in school anymore.
I know.
So we get some moments with Julie Walters, who's Mrs. Weasley, and then we see the beginnings of James and Oliver Phelps, who play Fred and George.
I love Fred and George. They're
They're
if not my
funny in this
favorites,
movie.
they are some of my favorite characters. Like they're just fabulous. I love them.
Like when they're talking about Quidditch and they're like saying that they people disappear and they're like, well, they don't usually die.
always show
They'll
up.
always come around. They'll turn up in a month or two.
Yeah.
month or
What's really
two.
funny to me is if you ever watch like an interview with James and Oliver, they are Fred and George. Like the way they
Yes.
interact with each other, like I don't think they were acting. Like I think that's just how they are.
They used to switch around on set, I'm pretty sure. Like,
That's so
yeah.
fun. I love that.
So then we get Draco, who's played by Tom Felton.
Mm-hmm. What a cutie. He is so
Super cute. All the kids are cute. We get a young Neville also, who's Matthew Lewis.
Poor Neville.
He's the one with the toad, right? I was like, you're the only
Yes.
kid with a toad, and your name's Neville.
At least it's not a rat.
Valid. But yeah. Ron,
And
rat, another alliteration.
Okay, and then we get some teachers in this one too. So we've got Professor Snape, who's played by Alan Rickman,
Another
and
fabulous
Professor
cast.
McGonagall, Maggie Smith. Yeah, yes,
Mhm.
both of them amazingly cast.
Wait, we don't have Quirrell on here.
Yeah, I mean he's only in this movie.
Yeah. He kind of hits his demise there at the end.
Yeah, thrown off. Is he the stutterer?
Yeah.
The stutter.
I
He's
was
played
so
by Ian
annoyed by
Hart.
that. I was like, I can't wait to find out why he has a stutter. Because I was
Fake.
like, what was the point of this? And then I was completely thrown off at the end. Was not expecting that at all. I was a little mad, but okay, I have a character I want to talk about.
Yeah. Who?
Okay.
Dudley. Cousin Dudley.
We do get the Dursleys.
So, first of all, my first thoughts are just general with that the names in this movie suck. And I know it's like old-timey, and I know that
It's literally just
not.
European names, Holly.
It's set in the
Okay.
90s.
They're atrocious. Dudley, Petunia, Hagrid, and then the whole thing is Hogwarts. Hogwarts. Warts of hogs. Is this how they talk over there? It's so odd.
The names
only
are really
normal
goofy.
The most okay, and then you know what? It made me laugh because whenever they have the dragon's name is
Norbert.
Norbert. Okay, Ron laughs and he's like Norbert, and I'm like, his name is Hagrid and Petunia and Dudley, and like you're laughing at Norbert. Yes, and you know the most normal name in the whole thing is
What?
Fluffy, the 3-headed dog.
Aww.
Fluffy. The
Harry
3-headed
has a
dog was the
normal
most
name.
normal name. Valid, but he's like Harry Potter. Like, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, all the
Still.
names are weird. You're totally right.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like Ron is like a normal name. Ronald?
Yeah.
Listen, you can't be a
Yeah.
magical person and have a normal name.
Weasley.
I know.
True.
I know. So
You
like
just
we're
can't-
letting it slide. I get it. But like they just were awful. And I know like this was written like when did you say this was written like in the 90s or whatever?
It's set in the
Mhm.
90s.
Set in the
too.
90s. Yeah. So that makes sense. I mean, they had weird names, but I just like the whole time I was like, ugh, so rough.
It's
And
funny
then
that you
cousin
say that.
Dudley was
He deserved that
just
name.
awful. You know who
Okay.
he reminded me of?
Who?
Who?
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, Veruca Salt. When she's like,
Yeah.
Daddy, I want a squirrel. I want a squirrel now. And he's like,
36
there's only
presents.
36
Last
presents.
year there were 37.
Yes. I literally was like, and so I was like, okay, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory like was probably filmed around this time. Is that like a trend in like, is this London? England? London? Somewhere over there.
London.
Is that like a trend to have a spoiled brat? Like, do they have a lot of spoiled brats around? Because I'm sure people would like watch
Yeah, I think it was
movies
just to
made in
show
America
that
and be like, there's a lot of the stereotypical things about us. But I was just like, that's wild. He was the male Veruca Salt.
Mhm. Yeah, Dudley is the literal worst. Hate him. Okay,
Moving
so
on.
now
He's
we
a
need to
dud.
talk about the makeup and the costuming in this movie because there's a lot that goes into it. So we're going to talk about just a few things that are part of it. First is Harry's scar, his lightning bolt scar, because it's very
Mhm.
iconic. And I thought it was
Yeah.
fun.
I also saw, so it's like off center. It's like over to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And on the book, like the cover of the book, it's in the middle of his head. And they put it on the side because J.K. Rowling told them that's what she wanted. And she said, it doesn't have to match the book cover because I never said in the book where his scar was located.
Yeah, she never did.
Oh,
That's a good point.
That's magical. That's
is.
fun. That I did know about because, you know, I was expecting the scar, so that I was like, yep, there it is. That's it. That's
And
the
then
lightning
scar.
Ron's
bolt.
like, a scar.
Ron is like, he's like the monologue in everyone's head. Like whatever you're thinking, Ron is saying it and like doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that. I was gonna say I didn't know that the scar like had like not that it had powers, but like they could like it could affect him. I didn't know that. I thought that was cool. That they like
Yeah,
bring it
it's a
back to
pretty
that.
iconic like piece of this movie and all the rest of the movies. So
Yeah. It is
it's good
weird
you
that
pick
he
up on
like
that.
randomly will be like, oh, it's hurting. And you're like, what's going
I
on?
know.
Like, why?
Yeah. And they're like, it's probably nothing or whatever, and it's like, no, it's like something. But like you have, they're like
Hermione's
in
like,
the middle of the
this
day.
happens, doesn't it? And he's like, never like this.
Okay, so we also in this movie get introduced to just like wizard attire in general. So they're all wearing robes and like we get to see how Dumbledore is dressed, like always in his fancy robes also. And then this
Mhm.
is one of the only movies where we get the wizard hats that are
What's with the
described
hats?
Ugly.
What's
in the
with the
books.
hats?
They're
Why?
awful.
I can see why they've been taken out of the movies now.
Yeah, because the reviews were bad.
They look like sock hats.
They were
Not
horrible.
cute.
I
Not
don't know
cute.
if they were
But
trying to be
this
like
movie is so
authentic to
much.
wizard. Like, were they trying to be authentic
What's
to
authentic,
wizardry?
Holly? What's authentic to
I don't know.
wizardry?
I don't know. I'm a princess, not a witch, so I don't know. But they were ugly. They also
They're
look
bad.
like, honestly, it kind of looks like they ran out of that $1 million budget and this is what they had. They had some fabric left. And it looked like they glued them to the children's head. Like they gelled their hair and then like, let's put a little Gorilla Glue and like pop it up. They were not
Oh my
hats.
gosh.
No, they were bad. Those are bad.
I was not expecting the hate of the hats. Okay, moving
Honestly,
on.
I didn't like them, but it didn't really like I didn't feel that fire inside me until you just asked. Like that's when it hit me.
Okay.
In this
That's
moment. You just
good.
saw it happen live. That was live, everyone. Live on B-Critics.
Okay, we don't want fire for the wizard hats. So let's talk
I
about
think
the
Courtney
goblins.
likes the hats. She has
I
like a
I
little
love
exclamation
the hats.
point.
Let's circle back. Did you like that? Because that tells me everything I need to know here.
I am disappointed that they didn't continue in the next movies. So it's something special about this one.
Sure.
I'm building some judgment here. I'm just kidding.
I can feel it. Okay, we're moving on from the hats because clearly I'm wrong. So we've got in Gringotts, because when we go to Hogsmeade, we visit Gringotts and we get to see the goblins, which I think is probably one of the biggest feats of the makeup in this movie.
Yeah, they're cool.
These are the little banker dudes, right? The goblins are the bankers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I only watched them 1.5 times. I still need some refreshers. But yes, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. So that was all makeup. It wasn't like a mask or I don't even know.
I mean, they use
cool.
prosthetics and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Those little things are creepy.
How
Those
many
are creepy things?
Like, do you know how many they had to make? Like, how many people were dressed up? Because like that's a lot. They had a lot.
They did have a lot.
Or like, did they like film it where they could like only have a few?
Had like a few scenes with them in there, so I'm sure they did it like all on the same day.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It was
like
cool.
I feel like now they'd probably like CGI it or something, you know? Like I just know those people had to be there at like 2 a.m. for their makeup.
So that's probably like the coolest thing to me about this movie. So this movie was shot in 35mm film because John Seal wanted to make the film light and wholesome. So like we kind of talked about the camera angles and stuff.
It makes it look a little older when they shoot on film.
Crazy stuff going on there. But this movie has like a really interesting mix of practical effects and CGI and tons of props. And the reason is because CGI was really like too early to do some of these things.
Expensive too.
And expensive. And so they had to use like this mixture of practical and CGI. And I think that makes this film like really special and really unique because it's probably one of the last movies that like really had this like true beautiful mixture of effects.
There's actually there's like not very much CGI. Like there's a ton of practical effects and there's only a few places where they used CGI. It's like when they had to, like the roof in the Great Hall, like that was CGI.
That was cool.
Yeah.
The snake from the zoo scene was obviously CGI'd. But like outside of that, there's really not a ton, and it wasn't super noticeable. Like they did.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously the three-headed dog.
Blended.
Probably the coolest practical effect to me is Hogwarts itself, because they built a model of Hogwarts. Essentially, it's huge,
like, to
but like
scale.
it's like essentially like a model on a table scale of like Hogwarts and the surrounding castle grounds, and that's what they used to do all those like cool shots. They didn't
film
of
this at Universal. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
But you can I think you can go visit like the Hogwarts studios in England and you can see like the Hogwarts castle model.
I was like, you know, I love Disney World and I just love Disney in general. And so this is like competing a little bit. But whenever they were pulling up to the castle, you know, thing, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Is that Hogwarts? Is that what they were pulling up to? Yeah. I'm still like learning. It was pretty cool. As we
that scene is like very iconic.
With I was like,
in the lantern.
Oh, this is cool. And I felt like that was when I had one of those like multi-sensory like moments where I was like, am I in the water? Am I in the boat? Like I felt like, you know, like at Universal, I imagine they probably made it really cool. I haven't been, but like that would be a Disney ride, you know, like where like you feel like you're there. I felt
I don't think that's a ride. They should make that a ride. They should hire you.
That would be cool.
It would be very cool.
Imagineer Holly.
Career. And then I could come back and say, hey, I have a connection to the movie.
Not Disney.
Yeah, not Imagineers. But I would have a connection in the movie industry then.
You would.
We'll build I have a few practical effects that I thought were interesting too.
Okay.
So number 1, they used real owls.
That's so cool.
Every owl you see is a real owl.
There's no way. How? That was so
when they're
many.
dropping the letters off at his
Wait.
house.
Also, they didn't even
All
look
the
real.
owls.
Not one of them looked real. They looked
They're all
fake.
real. They're all real.
I need to go look up what an
Owls look
owl looks like. They looked fake.
They look like that. They're terrifying.
They're scary.
Owls are one of the scariest animals to me ever.
So, are you going to tell me the cats are real?
Yeah, they used real cats.
And the toad?
Toad real.
Yes. All the
And
animals.
the rat?
The rat was very obviously real, Holly.
Okay.
So, okay.
No, wait. The dragon. Was the dragon real?
No.
Yes, the dragon was real, Holly.
All right, continue.
Okay.
Sorry.
The owls. So they used 3 owls to play Hedwig. The 3 owls had different tricks that they did, which is why they needed 3 of them. But the 3 that they used were named Gizmo, Ook, and Sprout, which is kind of cute.
I think I like Gizmo.
And then in the
renamed them
scene
Hedwig.
where all the owls are like at the Dursley's house, and they're all like looking at Petunia and whatever the dad's name is, he's irrelevant.
Vernon.
Whenever they're looking at them,
Vernon? That's another name. Vernon. Anyway.
whenever they're all the owls are like looking at them, right? In order to keep the owls, because owls are very intelligent, and in order to keep them fixated on the Dursleys and not on the cameras and the camera crew, they tied a dead mouse to Petunia's apron.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine having, like, not only are you having to, like, wrangle little 9-year-olds, but now you have owls that are smarter than you that you have to teach how to act? That's wild. Wow, they really had a good budget. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
How
How
another
terrifying would that
one
be to have all those owls staring at you and you have a mouse?
I think
on
owls
you?
are cute. I think they're cute.
No, all I would be thinking of, like, she kind of looked scared because at any moment they could launch and just, like,
All their
attack.
trainers were
Good.
there.
Okay,
Like,
do you think?
What are they
What
gonna
do you think's
do?
faster? What do you
I
think's
don't know.
faster? Who do you think's faster? The owl or the trainer? The owl is faster.
And has much more sharp claws and beaks and scary
owl
things.
will
I'm
win.
sure the safety was the top priority.
I bet it was
on the
Ook.
set of
Is
this
it Ook?
movie.
Ook would be the one.
That Gizmo?
Another practical effect I thought was really cool, and it was only used in this movie. In the subsequent movies, they don't use this effect. But the floating candles you see in the Great Hall are real candles in this movie.
Oh,
They had some safety issues because the flames were like burning through the wires that they used to tie them to the ceiling. So that's why they were CGI'd in the rest of the films, but in this one
Some
they are real
safety
candles.
issues.
That's
It's like
funny.
fires. I don't know. It's weird.
Gee, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I have 2 other topics I want to talk about for the practical effects. So
Okay.
the first is maybe 3. The first is the sorting hat,
Yeah.
because that's such an important moment, and they like had to get that talking hat right.
So that was
And I-
practical. That was like a little robot thing.
That's
puppet, I guess.
cool.
I don't know,
Or
honestly.
was it CGI'd?
I'll Google it.
You
I-
Google.
Had heard about this sorting hat thing, but I didn't
Mhm.
know like it was gonna talk to me when I saw it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cool, kind of creepy, kind of cool.
It was largely
Mhm.
CGI. Oh, I did read that.
Mhm. I like the sorting hat. I
So-
don't think I'd be friends with the sorting hat, but I do like
Oh
it.
no. I liked when it was like another Weasley. I know this one, like or when Ron did it, it like said something about knowing that like
You know exactly
could
what to do
tell.
with you.
Yes, yeah, that's the
When it went on Draco's hat, it like barely even got on his head, and then
Slytherin.
Yep.
Slytherin.
Which like
Yeah. I always
And
feel
then-
bad for Harry, like when the sorting hat like calls him out. He's like, "Oh, not Slytherin, eh?"
he's like
He's like
not
gives
Slytherin.
him up to the whole room.
Mhm.
Next is Quidditch.
Yeah.
This was probably one of the most challenging effects, and it was very CGI'd, and you could tell, I think.
Yeah. I could tell.
They
But
did
I
a
didn't
good job with
care.
it, though. Like, they did
Like,
the
it didn't
best they
bother
could, I
me.
think.
It didn't bother me because, like,
Mhm.
obviously it's not real. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Like, I was okay. And all I was doing was just laughing because I was thinking about how, like, in college people would, like, play Quidditch on, like, the quad. Do you remember that?
I forgot about that.
And I
The
thought it was
Quidditch
so
team.
weird. I was like,
It is.
weirdos.
It is.
But now I know what it is.
That's where we draw the line.
I still think
Playing
it's
Quidditch in real life.
equally as, like, but now I have context.
It's fun, though. Quidditch is fun.
You've played?
It's fun to watch. I'm not answering that question. Like I'm gonna be judged.
If you don't
I'm
answer the question,
sorry.
you're deducting 5 points from Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Gonna be in the negative over here.
Okay, well, I'm over here
So-
judging hard, but I'm not athletic, so I can't even, like, be a part of this conversation. So don't take offense.
Not athletic, but can really dance.
Got some rhythm.
And okay, so the last thing, I guess, and Liz, I know you had 3 practical effects, so you probably have one more, but just like the magic in general, because they have to do like spells in this movie. And so the one like first moment of like a true spell that you get is in Charms class when they do the Wingardium Leviosa and the feather goes up. And that was like just a good old like string on a feather.
Put it on a string.
And they just lifted it
That's
up with a
cool.
fishing hook. Yeah, fishing pole.
I liked it when she's like,
I like
it's
that.
Leviosa, not Levioso, or whatever. I don't know. I liked it when Hermione did that.
Leviosa, not
Yes.
Leviosa.
Yes. And honestly, I was
perfect.
like, I don't hear the difference. Like, I hear the difference, but I couldn't repeat it back to you. I don't know the difference. I thought it was funny.
My favorite Hermione line is when Harry like runs to go get the Remember All for Neville, and she goes, "What an idiot!"
What?
She has so many iconic lines in this movie.
Yeah,
My
this is a very quotable film. Very quotable.
Especially for
Very
like
quotable.
a 9-year-old. Honestly, like I know like we've talked about how young they are, but like just to have so many like iconic quotes to be so young as like an actress, but also like just a character. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
So the
agree. I'm
last
obsessed with the
effect
last
that
one.
I had, because I just think like every time I watch this movie and like the other ones, but every time I watch this movie, I just think it's so incredible how they're able to bring Hagrid to life. Like,
yes.
that's mostly he is practical. So anytime you see him from afar, he's got a body double that is a 6'10" like
Oh.
massive man that's wearing this giant suit, and like that's how they like made him real. It's just so cool to me, like, because he is huge. Like, he's huge, absolutely ginormous. And it's just like, how
Yeah.
did you even think of like how to make this person? Like, how did
Yeah.
you do that?
So Robbie Coltrane is like only a little over 6 feet tall, and they make him 8 feet tall in the movie, and they
Yeah.
use just like mostly like camera angles and stuff to do it.
Mm-hmm.
At least in this one.
Yeah, and his big giant
Crazy.
suit that he puts on
Mm-hmm.
with the
It probably
headpiece.
helps that the kids are tiny too.
Yeah.
Just give off.
Mhm.
I know I keep going back
He
to
makes
that.
them look
It's amazing.
so small when he's
Mhm.
like standing next to them. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. So are we ready to get into my 7 key plot points of the movie?
Because 7
Okay,
is the most magical
7.
number.
Wow.
Correct.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Okay. So number 1. The movie opens with Professor Dumbledore and Little Whinging on Privet Drive, utilizing his Deluminator to remove light from the streetlights. Professor McGonagall, transformed from her cat state, appears along with Hagrid, who is carrying baby Harry Potter.
Hagrid like skitters in. I wouldn't call that appearing. He like comes
Yeah.
sliding in
on his motorbike.
Yeah.
And he's like, I would
Yeah.
trust Hagrid with my life or whatever
Would
he says.
you?
And I'm
I
like,
wouldn't.
That's wild.
Meanwhile, Hagrid's over here giving the key to get past Fluffy to just like a random
Yeah.
man at the bar who gives him a
and to
dragon
the
egg.
kids, like Everybody finds it out. I'm like, trust him with your life. That's wild. It's bold. But that's
I
because
thought,
Dumbledore doesn't have to worry about his life because he is powerful.
yeah. I thought McGonagall turning from a cat into a human, I thought it was really cool the way that they utilized the shadow. Like, instead of like going crazy with CGI and trying to like show the transformation, they're like, oh, we'll just show it in the shadow and it works just as well. Thought it was
Yeah.
cool.
I also can't
I like
believe,
that.
to just be honest, like in the books and the movie, that Dumbledore just like leaves Harry on the Dursleys'
The
front door,
doorstep.
like the doorstep. Like it's just
Why would
crazy to me.
listen? I get it's for the story. 100% understand it's for the story. Why would they not take this boy? They know he's magical. Why would they not have him be raised by a magical family? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Crazy.
Were they trying to hide him from like Voldemort?
Probably.
I don't know.
Yes, probably.
That's my thought.
That would
But
be a good
Harry
thought.
does end up living with the Dursleys, and that brings me to my second key plot point of the movie. So Harry talks to snakes. Harry
Mhm.
goes with the Dursleys to the zoo to celebrate his cousin Dudley's birthday. While there, Harry makes some weird things happen, talks to the boa, ends up locking Dudley in the snake's glass case, landing himself locked up in his cupboard under the stairs.
I low-key thought his little cupboard room looked cozy.
Yeah. So like I had conflicting things because I was like, okay, if I had this like random kid in my house who was like making stuff happen that was weird, I might
Okay,
lock them in a cupboard
it's
too.
not a random kid. That is their nephew.
I know.
Petunia is his mother's
Okay.
sister.
Also, another thought, so clearly like the uncle knows about Hogwarts, he knows about magic, like they know.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They know.
They know, they're like, no funny business. Okay, they know he can do stuff. So who thinks it's a good idea to let this kid who does funny business and can like do all these things cook your food? Why would you eat food that he cooked? You know, and she's like, go make breakfast. Like I
He's
wouldn't
so
eat
good
food.
natured. He would never do anything wrong. Like
I
spit in
guess.
Except for
his-
lock Dudley in the snake's cage.
It
Yeah.
was an accident.
It was, but he did do it.
Yeah. Wait, my favorite other part during this, and like it was when they were getting all the letters, and she's like cracking the eggs, and every egg is like a letter. That was funny to me. I was like, oh, that's funny. Whoever came up with that, that was good.
I love the letters. I think they did that so well. I think they had like 7 like machines that would like shoot out letters that they used in this scene, and they had to do like multiple takes. Like every time they would have to like scoop up the letters and like put them all
Put them all
back in the
back.
machines.
That's
Probably
annoying.
took forever. Also,
I
if we want to talk
know.
about safety concerns, that seems like a safety concern. Not a one of
Drowning
them
in the
had on safety
letters.
goggles. Not a one. Like, why are we not concerned about paper cuts? Like,
Yeah.
there's a
Wait,
child in that room.
I also thought whenever he gets the first letter that's like to Harry under the cupboard or whatever, and then the uncle was like, "Let me go nail up the mail slot." Like that was his solution to like solving the mail problem. Was he's going to just go put a board over it? Like, are they not going to get other mail? I don't know. I just thought that was stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then when he was
Maybe it's
like,
supposed to
no
be like
posts on
funny.
Sundays, I was like, this hasn't been coming through the post, sir. It's been coming through the owls. Like, can you
Owls,
not see
yeah.
them
This is
surrounding your
magical.
house?
You crazy
Literally.
person.
And he knows about Hogwarts. You know, so like clearly he knows.
Yes.
Wouldn't you like?
I think they're
No.
just not very intelligent.
Which
Yeah.
yes, we can see that with Dudley, Petunia, and Vernon.
I have a question, Courtney, that maybe you can
Okay.
answer. Because Hayden
Okay.
and I had a little bit of a
Debate.
we did not see
I know,
debate.
I'm
There's a
like,
debate.
ooh, argument.
Do they pay to go to Hogwarts? Is this a paid school?
I don't think so. I think you
Because
get like selected to go.
Vernon makes this comment about like, I'm not paying for you to go and like fool around at this school.
No, he's just saying that. I don't think anyone has to pay for him to go to Hogwarts.
No, because they
I
go
was
get the key and then they
confused.
get his money and he's rich.
Yeah, if anything, like Lily and James are paying for him to go to school, but I don't think they ever
Yeah.
like answer that question in the books, to be honest.
Lily and James are Harry's parents, Holly.
I didn't know that. So they have normal names.
They do
That's
have
nice of
normal
them.
names. Their last name
Anyway,
is Potter.
Lily
Last name
Potter, James Potter, Harry Potter.
Okay. Are we ready for number 3?
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, wait. I had one thing to say
Oh,
in
not ready
between
for
this
number
one and
3.
your next thing. Because we're not going to touch on this, but the whole scene where they like leave because they're like we're going to go where they're never going to find us. Like that's going to
Yeah.
work.
And then the
then
house on the rock.
yeah, Hagrid comes like breaking the door down. The whole time that scene was going on, I kept seeing the music video for the Taylor Swift song where she's like, everybody is a sexy baby and I'm a monster. I'm a man.
Antihero? Is that
Yeah.
Antihero? That's funny.
I just kept seeing it and I was like, no, why is this happening?
I am never going to
It
watch the
didn't-
Anti-Hero music video because I do not want that to happen to me. That scene is so iconic in my mind.
Is this an Easter egg?
No, absolutely. Maybe to
Where are
Anti-Hero.
the Swifties? Hey, all you Swifties.
Where the Swifties at? Oh my god. Okay,
Okay.
continue, Courtney.
Number 3, Harry visits Ollivander. In Diagon Alley, Harry visits the wand maker, Ollivander. The wand that chooses Harry happens to have a phoenix tail feather core that came from a phoenix which gave only one other feather to the wand that gave Harry his scar.
Dun, dun, dun.
That
honestly, this was like
scene-
above my brain, like my head. This was all above me. What's a phoenix? A bird?
Yes,
The
a
bird.
phoenix is a magical bird.
Okay.
And
like
so
an
what they
eagle?
That's not explained. It is not. It's not.
Okay,
explained.
I
It's
felt
not explained in this
stupid.
movie.
Watched it twice
It's-
and I was like, I'm gonna just pretend like I didn't. Maybe they won't bring this part up, and then here we are.
Here we are.
So wands have a core, and one of the options for the core is a phoenix tail feather. And so what they explain is that the core of Harry's wand has a phoenix tail feather, and that phoenix gave only one other feather to Ollivander, and it went to the wand that Voldemort has.
What is the core of your wand?
That's Hermione's wand, isn't it?
This is Hermione's wand. I don't know.
I feel like you
It's
should know
maybe
this,
horse
Courtney.
hair.
Does the core matter? Like, are you more powerful? Can you do different spells? Does it make a difference? Is it gonna like break in half? What does why do we
Okay,
care?
so
Which
I think it kind
magical
of gives
bird?
it its
Granger's
personality.
wand is a 10 3/4 inch. This is definitely longer than 10 3/4 inch. I'm just saying that right now. Vine wood wand with a dragon heartstring core.
Can we circle back to when you said personality? What do you mean by personality?
I think it gives the wand its personality, like its
Yes.
characteristics.
They all look the same. What do you mean?
They don't all look the same.
They don't? Oh.
No,
They're
they
all
don't.
brown sticks. What do you mean they don't look the same?
Yeah, but some of them are like they have a length,
Like,
they have different cores. they made of
Dumbledore's
different
is like
woods.
white.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
he's like in
like-
charge and his beard is white. That's like Santa Claus wouldn't look the same as us. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so okay, we'll just circle back. I gotta watch more movies.
So
Maybe I should read a
that
book.
scene, I just love the scene in Ollivander's like so much because it's so quotable and it's like iconic when like Harry holds his wand for the first time and he's got like the light behind him and like the music
Mhm.
turns on. But
Doesn't that happen at Universal, like when you pick out your wand?
yeah, you can like
Yeah.
That's cool.
go through.
Mhm.
I wondered when I'd be seeing
So
you,
I have a question.
Mr.
Have any of
Potter.
you have either of you been to Universal? To
Where do you
like
think
Harry
I got
Potter
this
World?
wand,
Yeah.
girly?
Yeah.
Oh, is that
For
wait, is
sure.
that the only place to get it? Like I can't like go on Amazon.
I'm sure you can
order
order it
one?
Oh, I'm sure
online.
you can
for
order.
sure.
Oh, okay. So my next
Yeah.
question is I actually have to go to that website. I get the emails from. That's where I can order it. But so when you go like to Universal
Pottermore.
and you buy one, like, are you buying like you're buying Hermione's, you're buying Harry's, you're buying Ron's, or can you buy like just a wand and be like, ooh, this is Holly's wand? Like, you know
I
what I'm
think they
saying?
have
Like,
generic ones, yeah, if I remember correctly. And I think the like specific ones come in these boxes and they like have the name of whoever's wand is on them. So as I am Hermione, I had to pick Hermione's wand. It was like the only
of course.
option.
It does look really long.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely longer than 10 inches. It's probably like
No
15
way
inches.
her wand was that big. She was literally like a little tiny child, and it did not look that big in her hand.
I know. Her wand was probably actually like 10 inches long. I don't know why they made it so big in Universal, but it is fun. There's also an option that's like an interactive wand, so you can like walk around Universal and like interact with things in the wizarding world. But I just got the cheap
That's
version.
cool. Probably was
Yeah.
still expensive.
I was about to say, yeah, it was.
Yep. I could probably make one.
Before we move on to the next scene, I think this scene that I want to bring up is before this next one you're going to talk about, but it's the scene where they get mail at Hogwarts, and Harry gets the broom, and Neville gets his rememball or whatever it's called, and it shows him that he has forgotten something, but he can't remember what he's forgotten, and it's probably his robe because he's the only wizard that has not worn his robe.
Okay. I
Oh.
read that earlier today when I was prepping for this episode. And
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I had a moment where I was like, I've seen this movie who knows how many times, and I've never noticed that detail ever. It's crazy. So now I'm gonna
That
notice
is
it next
funny.
time.
I did not notice that as a first
It's
timer,
legit
no.
though. He doesn't have his robe on.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's such a good detail. They spared no expense. Like they had every detail in this movie, and I love it.
Yeah, they did good.
Okay, number 4. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Troll in the dungeon. Harry and Ron save Hermione, who was crying in the girls' bathroom, from the troll someone let loose in the castle, propelling the trio into friendship.
It's a cute scene.
It was
It is
cute.
It's a super fun scene.
I was
Harry
sad
riding
that
the
she was
troll.
crying in the bathroom. Also because, and I know she'll have some character development, I'm sure of it, but like Hermione is not someone who should be crying in the bathroom.
No.
She is too good for that. Now she is like a little kid, but like, no.
Ron was
That's not
making
her.
fun of her so hard, though.
I know. He was being like actually mean. It wasn't just like playful.
Yeah.
He was being like really mean. Like for real.
Yeah, also this is the scene where like it's kind of funny because I feel like there's no consistency with the point system in the books and the movies. So like McGonagall tells each of them like 5 points from Gryffindor, and then like when later on like Harry, Ron, and Hermione are like prowling around the castle, and then Draco finds them and like brings them, she says like 50 points from Slytherin and also to Gryffindor. And I'm just like, there's no like balance of like the points here.
No.
I felt that too. I was confused. Like they needed like a rubric or something to like.
It's just like on a whim. Like
It's
how are
like
you
how
feeling?
they're feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get to see Ron finally in the troll scene do the Wingardium Leviosa.
Swish
And
and flick.
Swish and flick.
I know.
So
I thought that
cute.
was fun.
He learned
Love.
from Hermione how to do it right.
Ooh.
And then when she made up that whole thing about how she went to go find it and then they were gonna save them, you know, to like kind of cover. I was like, oh, they're friends.
I think she also was maybe a little embarrassed that she
That she
had
was crying
gone
in the
to cry
bathroom.
in the bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as she should. So she'd rather say that she went to explore to find the troll than that she was crying in the bathroom, which seems very Hermione.
Yeah.
But Holly, you're exactly right. Like that moment where she lied, that was really significant in the story because that to Harry and Ron was like her lying for them, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Number 5, the Mirror of Erised. Harry uses his invisibility cloak night after night to visit the Mirror of Erised. Harry sees his parents in the mirror's reflection. One night he is interrupted by Dumbledore, who tells him, "It does not do well to dwell on dreams and forget to live."
It was such a tough lesson for him to learn. Like, so
At such a young
young.
age.
I know.
Especially when, like, he, like, I don't know in the timeline of how long he's been there, but, like, he just showed up. You know, like, he just found out that he's a wizard. I mean, maybe he, like, had an inkling with all his, like, little magical stuff, but, like, he's just now finding out about his parents. You know, like, it's just, like, a lot all at once. And then he's got to fight a troll and this other stuff. It's a lot.
And he's also like unfazed by all of it. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's a troll.
Yeah.
Casual.
Yes.
He's going to
Super
have
chill.
some trauma later in life.
But I do think that this mirror was such a cool way to like show that like despite all of this like craziness in his life right now, like what he really wants is just like his parents. And it really like tugs at your heartstrings, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. Also, Harry's invisibility cloak is cool as hell. I
Yes.
want one so bad.
I was going to say I want one too. I don't know like where I would use it or what, but I want one. It was cool.
I would use it all the time.
It was really funny that like every time they would do it, it had this like wavy effect.
Yeah.
You'd like see it come across and you're like, oh, there they go.
I also love that like all 3 of them go in the invisibility cloak together.
I know. I thought that was funny too.
Like hunting around. Ow, you stepped on my butt. Like, what's the use of being invisible if you're gonna squeal? Like, what's the point?
And then it just cracked me up when they had to like open a door. I'm like obviously they can't go through it, but like, you know, I was like, they're just opening a door and then meandering in.
And then closing the door.
Yeah.
Make as little noise as possible, but make as much as you can.
Yep.
Okay. Number 6 is going after the stone. So the trio, attempting to stop Snape from stealing the Sorcerer's Stone, must get past a series of obstacles meant to protect the stone. After facing Devil's Snare, Flying Keys, and the greatest game of Wizard's Chess Hogwarts has ever seen, Harry ends up facing his greatest challenge yet, an encounter with Lord Voldemort himself.
I was thrown. First of all, what's the guy's name? The stutterer.
Quirrell.
Okay, I was shook when it was him. I just knew it was that evil Mr. the Potions, Mr. Snape. What is that? Snape. I thought his name was Snake. First of all, the potion. I thought he was a snake because he's Slytherin, Snake, and potions, and he's like evil. Anyway, I was convinced it was him. So then I was thrown off when the little innocent guy turns around, and then I was baffled when he took his little head wrap off, which I thought from the beginning was a horrible idea. I was like, what is this choice? And then it made sense. But that enraged me. That made me so mad. I just, no. I have no words for it. It was a good plot twist.
It was wild.
It was.
I'm glad to hear that it really surprised you in the movie, too.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I knew something was going to happen, but I didn't know what. Sorry, my dogs are barking.
Okay.
I'll just talk about the elephant in the room here.
So I had 2 notes from that scene specifically when he takes his head wrap off. Number 1, for Professor Quirrell, his fingernails were disgusting.
I didn't notice.
They're long. They're like unkept. Like,
ew,
just gross.
Probably because he's
Number
out
2,
there like drinking unicorn blood on his off time.
Oh my god, that upset me so much. Unicorn blood. I love unicorns.
They're the purest creatures, and he's out there.
Literally, that made me so enraged. Like, of course.
The centaur was pretty cool. I liked the
Yeah.
centaur a lot.
Friends is the best.
The second thing I had to say is that Voldemort has an incredible glow up from this movie to the end. Like, incredible.
So
So I thought you weren't supposed to ever see Voldemort before watching this movie. I thought that no one had ever seen his face. And so when I saw his face in the very first movie, I was a little pissed off because I was under the impression that I would watch 8 movies and never see his face.
We thought he was going to be just this mysterious being.
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
I don't know where I heard that from. I don't know. I've just my entire life I thought that you don't know what Voldemort looks like.
That's Darth Vader, girly. Wrong movie.
No,
Wrong
I
franchise.
100% thought it was Voldemort, but okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, so we skipped past all the all the obstacles they had to face, and the one that we just like have to talk about is the Wizards chess match, because I have to say that watching this scene after like TikTok has been blowing up with these memes, I was like, I'm watching TikTok memes right now. Like, this is crazy.
I've obviously seen the TikToks all the time, and so I was like really hoping. I didn't know which movie it was from, and so I was really hoping it was in this movie. And so when he was like, "When I make my move," I was like,
You're
free
"Yes!"
to check king.
My
No, Ron.
my day was made. And then have you all seen the dancing one where it's like a dance?
Yes.
And it's like, when
Yes.
I don't know how it goes, but
And there's like some booty popping in it.
yes. Oh my gosh, I was like, this
Ron,
is
you
good.
can't.
He's going to sacrifice himself.
Oh, that was good. That was good. And then it's like when you watch it on TikTok and it has like the captions and it's like, yo, and it's like the YAOUW.
Not Hermione. Yeah.
Yo. Yep. And you watch the subtitles. It's good stuff.
So is it like that's not even quoting from the movie too? It's like quoting the girl who reenacted the movie, and that's quoted in that animation, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
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 That's so funny.
But then everybody's
it was
like,
remixed.
people are like, I can never watch this scene the same. And I'm like, yeah,
You can't.
I don't.
You can't.
Like,
it changed the scene. It really changed the scene.
I'm like at a little bit of a disservice. I've only seen it that way. I don't have the experience of knowing it before, so.
It was super serious before.
It
Like,
was.
Last time I saw it, it's like serious and it's like scary and you're like, oh my God, like this horrible game, like he's gonna die, like all this stuff. And now you hear is, once I make my move, you're free to check the king.
Yep. Just like that.
No,
Exactly
Ron.
like that. Can't.
He's going to sacrifice himself.
And then the last thing about this scene, going back to Quirrell and Voldemort, is that Harry like burns Quirrell's face up with his hands. And we get a little bit of an explanation of that from Dumbledore, because he explains that Harry's mother, Lily, left a magical imprint on him when she died, and that was love.
Love
is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first.
It is. Everything was so magical that then when they were like, it's love, I was like, I mean, it's cute, but like,
that's it.
Love. Like,
what
I kind of
else?
was like, not like a spell or like a invisibility or like invincibility or like more immortality. Just love, which like love is important, but
magic.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for number 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bring it on.
This is the final scene in the Great Hall. We have the points awarded by Dumbledore. Gryffindor takes the house cup, and Dumbledore says, It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends. I award 10 points to Neville Longbottom. It literally makes me cry every time I watch this movie, and I can't help it.
Courtney!
Wow, I didn't. Okay.
It's so sweet.
I was about to be like, yeah, it's a really like heartfelt quote. Like that's a really life like thing, something we could take with us. And then Courtney starts crying.
I cry every
So,
time this quote is
I have
said.
something to say about that. I
Okay.
thought it was kind of shitty that he let Slytherin think that they won and then was like, but I got some last minute points to award.
Me too. I thought that was
All to
mean.
Gryffindor.
60
I thought that was mean.
points to
I thought that was
Gryffindor
mean.
for Harry Potter.
Like, no wonder the Slytherins are salty. Like, I
Yeah.
would be. You just
Also,
took away their win.
Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws totally underrepresented in that scene. They have literally no part.
Just in that scene, Courtney, they're underrepresented in the whole movie.
Can
There's
I be
not
real?
one Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff.
So yeah, so when I found out my
the
house
best.
was a Hufflepuff, and then I watched this movie, and I was like, I need to retake this quiz because y'all know me. I like to be a main character, and Hufflepuffs were not even in the movie, so I was like, I must have taken the wrong quiz.
You gotta keep watching.
I'm a main character, and I'm not in this.
There's some
So I
fun
was
future
annoyed.
Hufflepuffs that appear.
Yeah, the Hufflepuffs are where it's at, not gonna lie.
The Badgers. Yep.
But
Yep.
I do think that's a beautiful ending scene regardless. It's just so like,
well, there's an
emotional to
even
me.
beautifuler ending scene when they're all like boarding.
You're so right.
They're all boarding the Hogwarts Express. And Harry's saying goodbye to Hagrid, and Hagrid's like, "Go home, Harry." And he's like, "I'm not going home. Not really."
Not really.
Aww. Yeah.
Because Hogwarts is his home. It's very
Yeah,
cute.
I think that's really cute. Ugh,
That was
wow,
cute.
so much emotion. Okay, we have to stop. Okay.
I have two things to bring up that we didn't
Okay.
get to talk about. Number one, Harry never casts a spell in the movie. Not once. And
That's interesting.
He's supposed to be this
one of the most
amazing wizard.
promising wizards. Okay, not one single spell.
It's hilarious.
Number two, so Richard Bremer plays Lord Voldemort in the movie.
Okay.
And in the credits, he's credited as He Who Must Not Be Named.
That's what it is, Holly. It's not that you can't see his face, you can't say his name.
You can't say his name.
Oh. I guess I was very confused for like 28 years. It's fine.
Yeah, because remember at the beginning, like Hagrid was like he wouldn't even like say his name, like he was too afraid.
Yeah.
He kept
Well,
like stuttering over it.
He's also like so ugly. And so I was like, maybe that's why people said he couldn't see him. Because like he's just like so repulsive to look at.
He is ugly.
You did say did you say he had a glow up? Is that the word you
But
used?
not,
Liz?
he's still ugly.
Still ugly.
But he just like
just looks better than
different
that.
way.
Yeah.
Is he like attached
Slightly
to
easier
another
on the
body?
eyes.
Because that
I don't
is
know.
confusing.
You gotta
oh yeah,
watch.
you can't
Have to
tell me. You
watch.
can't tell me. You can't tell me. No spoilers.
Okay, Holly, we have a couple extra questions for you.
Yeah, I love questions.
And Liz, these first two I want to ask to you also.
Okay.
So, what is your favorite piece of magic from this film?
Okay, I have two. I liked the invisibility cloak, which we talked about. But I also think that I have three. I think that the staircases that moved were really cool. I don't really understand the purpose. I don't really know why they're moving.
It's not in the book.
But
it's just
I
in
think
the
they
movies.
were cool. They were cool.
Just got added for funsies.
Yep.
I think that was cool. And then I don't know why, but I thought it was fun. The 9 3/4 or 3/4 when they would run into the brick wall. To
Platform
get on
9 3/4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was fun. So those are my my things.
Those are good
Those
ones.
are fun. I like that.
Liz,
What about
do you
you,
have
Liz?
an answer?
I liked the brooms and the flying. That's what I would be most
Ooh.
excited for if I was at Hogwarts, is being able to fly, because, you know, it just feels like a much better like mode of transportation, and it also kind of feels safer. I don't know, like how often is there going to be like a broom crash?
I mean,
It
you
looked
could just
pretty
like fall
dangerous to
off of
me when
it.
I
There's no
saw Neville
seatbelts.
fall off to his death and break his wrist.
Oh my gosh, that scene where he falls off the first day, and then the teacher's like, let me leave all 40 of you out here, and I'm going to go take this one kid to the nurse. As an educator, that doesn't happen. You never leave the whole group. You would either take the whole group with you, or you would send the kid to the nurse with another student, but you would not leave
Look,
the rest of
Holly,
them.
keep
I was
watching.
like,
Stuff like that
this is
happens
false.
all throughout these movies. It's
Constant. It's
crazy.
Unrealistic.
constant.
Courtney, what's your favorite magical piece?
Mm-hmm.
I think the invisibility cloak is really high for me because I love seeing that in this movie. And then the other thing is Dumbledore's like trick with the stone in the mirror. So like only somebody who wants the stone but doesn't want to use the stone could get the stone. And I like how he says like between you and me, like or he says it's like a really brilliant piece of magic, and he said like between you and me, like that's saying something. So
Yeah, I thought that
tooting
was
his own horn.
I liked that
yeah.
part too. That was like a
Yeah.
clever just life lesson, kind of thing. Maybe not a life
Mhm.
lesson, but I liked that.
Agreed. Okay, next question. What was your favorite magical creature?
Well, I liked the unicorn, but like it wasn't really around for long. The
It was
centaur was
literally
cool too.
dead.
Yeah, they killed it. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of it for me.
Okay.
I mean, the cat was cool. How like the professor turned from the cat into herself. That was cool.
Yeah, that was
I don't know if
cool.
that's a magical creature. Oh, the dragon was cool.
Mhm.
The dragon egg. But I don't. It was kind of like Norbert. He was gone. He went to Romania, so.
Yeah, he did. Poor Norbert.
Anyway, Liz, what do you think?
I liked the centaur. That was
Mhm.
my favorite creature from this movie.
Yeah. I think Friends is my favorite too. He's pretty cool. Okay. And Holly, this last question is specifically just to you. So, what or who are you most curious about going into the next films?
What a difficult question. I really want to see the development of what is his name, Neville.
Mhm.
Whatever happens with him. But also, did we say it was Snape with a P?
Yeah.
Snape.
Snape.
Severus
I am intrigued about him
Dumbledore.
because I know that Harry, Hermione, and Ron are gonna have some great development. I feel like, is it Draco? Draco. He's gonna just become a little.
Malfoy.
He's just gonna become a little jerk, but I just know
He's going to
it.
get bigger.
Yeah, he's just gonna become a big jerk, and his blonde hair is gonna be slicked back, glued down. But I'm excited about the Neville kid. Maybe there'll be some more toads. I'm excited to see what they do with the toads. Probably nothing.
There's not a lot of
but,
toads. I can spoil that one for you.
Great. I am intrigued actually about the centaur because you've called him by name, and I didn't pick up on his name. I just missed that. So I'm intrigued to see what the centaur does. I do remember them calling him something, but I couldn't remember it. So those
Hagrid
are intriguing.
knows him.
Hagrid says his name.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he also introduced himself to Harry.
Yeah. There was a lot of
Yeah,
weird
he
names.
does.
I just couldn't keep up with all of
It was
them.
also very quick. It wasn't like, hey, Harry, I don't know what his name is,
Yeah.
but I'm this name. It was just like he
Mhm.
said it in passing.
I felt like that
Yeah.
happened very quick, that whole like scene. Like I feel like they didn't spend a lot of time on it, and so my thought was like they're gonna come back to this. These people or something later, like in the Dark Forest. Because like it happened, but I felt like it went, maybe to me, that's just me. Like I felt like it went by quick. They could have spent more time there. So maybe they'll come back to it. I don't know. Predictions. I don't know.
Mm,
What's the
okay.
next one called?
Chamber of
Secrets.
So is this gonna be a chamber where all their secrets are revealed? I don't know.
You have to watch.
That would be a very literal interpreration of that title.
That's the only. Well, the first one was the Sorcerer's Stone, and that's what they were protecting. So it's the only context I have is the name.
Okay. Are we ready to rate the movie?
I think we are.
Okay. Holly, you're going to rate the movie first. And as a reminder, we rate all of our movies through Letterboxd 0 to 5 stars with half-star increments.
Okay. So I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 5. It was a solid movie. Honestly, like, I lean more on like the higher end because it was like for its time too. I feel like it had really good, like, the production was awesome of it. There were some like
Mhm.
acting parts that I was like, oh, these are children, or like, oh, this is 2001. Like just big moments like that. Because you said it came out in 2001, right? I don't know. I just knew it was an older movie, but I think it was a solid movie. I think it had nice magical aspects, but I do think that it's going to get better. Like, I think they're going to get better, and so I think that I have to leave room to rate the other ones better.
Fair.
So 3 out of 5 is where I start.
Very fair. Okay. Liz, your rating?
I give this 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
I really enjoyed watching this. Like I said, I've seen it multiple times and I'm not like tired of it. I know it's coming, but it's not like, like let's get through this. I already know what's going on. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what's coming. Like I quote it, I talk through the movie, I just have a great time watching it. And it's like fun because it's like how they built the story. It was this first movie. Like the whole universe of it all is just, I just love it. 4 out of 5.
They set the bar high with it, I feel like.
Mhm.
Like, they set
Yeah.
the ground. Good foundation to build upon.
Agreed.
Yeah. I love Chris Columbus. Wish he could have done every single movie.
He had to go back to Star Wars, didn't
can't.
he?
Chris Columbus. Oh, he
No,
made
I
Star
think-
Wars too? Darth Vader, Voldemort?
No. So this movie, it was 160 days of shooting to make this film. And they have to do them back to back to back because the kids grow. So they literally release them like
But he did the
subsequent
second one
years.
too.
He did the second one. And then after that, he was like, I can't give up my life like this. So he just like, he resigned from doing it.
Sad.
I know. However, the third one has a different director and it's my favorite movie. So okay.
Yeah, I did hear the first two weren't the best.
No, I love
I don't know.
Still
I just heard
good.
movie.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
not
But
the
I heard
best
the
Harry
other
Potter
ones were better.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
well,
that could just be anyway.
I gave this movie a 5-star rating because
I am not surprised. I knew
Courtney's
it.
gonna give like all of the Harry Potter movies 5 out of 5.
I feel
Like
like I'm
all of
having
them.
like when we did Twilight, Liz, and you rated like every movie 5 stars. I feel like I'm like having that moment. But
This
I
is
also
your
feel like
Twilight
that's not the
moment.
case because as the movies progress, they start to deviate more and more from the books because you have to, right? They're movies. And so like I've learned, I'm gonna try throughout this series to like treat them separately as much as I can, but like I know that that's going to factor into my ratings in the future movies where I'm going to be like, I just can't get over like how such and such was different than the book. But this movie is like pretty close to the book and it just makes me feel like so nostalgic and like emotional, like watching it. Like you just like
you cried, okay?
you see the Harry Potter world. I cry every time I watch this movie, like at that particular part. I don't know why, but I just love it. So yeah.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
That's a pretty healthy rating there.
Yeah, it is. Healthy as it gets.
Okay, so we had some very excited listeners
Yay.
and friends on the internet telling us how they felt about this movie as well.
Okay, I'm
So I'm
excited.
going to read off 4 like I do for almost every episode. So the first one is from The Lazy Binge. And they said, the first one is one of the best in my opinion. The nostalgia.
The nostalgia is real.
The next one is from the Movie Buff Dublin, and they said, nostalgic, not the best in the series, but I love it. We do too.
I would agree. It's not the best movie in the series. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I've done rating it 5 stars. I have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
The next one is from Hayden. Cute.
Celebrity.
Yay. And he said all they learned in class was how to make a feather float. You call this a school?
That's so valid. That's so real.
They didn't have time to teach them classes. This movie's already 2.5 hours long.
And then the last one is from our friend Martin at the Film versus Film podcast. And he said, the cutest 3-headed dog in cinema. Fluffy.
Mhm.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, nobody picked Fluffy as their favorite magical creature.
Oh.
No.
He was slobbery.
Yeah, the
I'm
drool.
not a big fan
I
of
was
the
like,
slobbery dogs.
the slobber
Scary.
really got me. I
Yeah.
have 3
Ron's
dogs, but they don't
reactions to
slobber.
things really cracked me up.
Yeah.
And then
He was
Harry
really
with the
cute in this movie.
the troll bogies. Oh, troll bogies.
Yes. That cracked me up.
Aw.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up like we always do and tell you what the world thinks of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. On Letterboxd, it has a 3.7 out of 5, which is lower than I expected, but still pretty good. The tomato meter is an 81 and the audience score is an 82, which tracks. IMDb gave it a 7.6, and then 91% of Google users liked the movie. So I think it is well received overall.
Well liked. Okay, Holly.
Yes.
We have something that we have to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So
I'm on the edge of my seat.
This whole time that we've been talking about this movie, we've been doling and deducting points from our houses as part of the B-Critics Hogwarts House Tournament.
That's so lame. I already know. You guys took so many points from me.
Liz is in your house.
I know, Liz.
So-
You better.
I made the executive decision without talking to Courtney that each of the houses was going to start with 25. So
Okay.
everybody
Okay.
started with 25 points.
Okay.
Okay. So what, did I lose points every time I said something?
No.
Yeah. Well, so if you notice, like me and Liz would like quote the movie or like say like 5 points from Gryffindor or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I didn't notice that.
So we ended up the standings. Gryffindor with 35 points, which I don't know how it landed there because I feel like I was saying like 50 points, 60 points, like everywhere.
I deducted points from you every time you had to look something up.
How many points?
You are our resident expert.
That's valid. I didn't look nothing up. I didn't lose any points.
You lost 10 points for every time you had to look something up.
Look, I wanted
Is she
to
negative?
read. I
Is
wanted
she in the negative?
No, 35 points.
Oh, okay.
But Hufflepuff, I won't say Hufflepuff yet. Slytherin has 25 points and Ravenclaw both have 25 points because we completely forgot about giving them any points. And Hufflepuff got 55 points in the
Yeah.
It's a little unfair because the both of us were adding points. So
Yeah.
I didn't know I could be adding points. So what did we get points for? Like what? For
Holly,
quoting?
you got a lot of points for quoting things, right? Or if you came up with like a good point, like if you got me and Courtney to laugh, I gave us points.
Oh, that was the whole time. So
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah.
So
I
what are
was
y'all over there
giggling the whole
messaging?
time.
Are y'all over there like chatting to each
No,
other?
I
Like,
was keeping
1
track.
point? Ooh,
It was
5
just
points?
me. It was just me.
Oh, so okay. So it's up to Liz. Okay. But that's
So
fun.
are we gonna keep?
Yeah.
Are we gonna keep the points like next episode? We're gonna start at this tally and like go on.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's kind of
Yeah.
fun.
And
That's fun.
for those of you listening at home, you can also earn points for your houses by commenting on this episode on YouTube and telling us what house you're in.
Only on
So
YouTube?
each
Can I
comment-
comment anywhere?
Only on YouTube.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
YouTube episode. Yeah.
Okay.
And each
Could
comment
I
will
get-
give.
Okay. I was gonna say, like,
You're
if
about
I
to hear
comment
you're about to
3
hear
times,
the rules. Okay.
Okay,
You're about to
okay,
hear
okay.
I'm gonna tell you the rules. So each comment will give 5 points to the commenter's house. If you try to cheat and comment more than once, we'll deduct points. The winning house will receive bragging rights for the whole year.
do I get a cup? Do we get a house cup? Isn't that what they get?
We haven't gotten that far.
I think we've got to do something.
But it's
Have, like,
the
an award
official
ceremony.
B-Critics Hogwarts House Tournament.
Okay. Official. You heard it
Official.
here first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Hufflepuffs represent. I'm gonna need to know who else is coming on. We can win.
Yeah, so we're not gonna tell our guests. We're not gonna tell them that we're doing this. So they're gonna find out about it just like you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a plot twist. I wasn't expecting that.
We thought it would be fun.
Maybe at some point I'll pick up on the rules of like other things I can do to get myself points.
Well, every time my dog barked, you could have taken points. When the lights fell, you could have taken 50. Ruined the whole podcast.
I should have taken points. I didn't even think about that.
Lucy barked like 3 times at least.
That would have been hilarious.
Every time
my
you've
God.
seen one of them walk behind the camera, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you could see that.
That's hilarious. We could. All right, Holly. This was a literal blast. We had so much fun recording with you. And sadly, it is time for us to say goodbye.
No, I had so much fun. Thank you for letting me come on and giggle with y'all and let us. What are they, muggles? Are they muggles? We're muggles.
Mm-hmm.
Us muggles had a good old time.
The best.
Oh my goodness, we did. Thank you so much for coming on, Holly. It's always so much fun to have you.
Thank y'all.
All right, and goodbye, B-Critics fam. Thanks for tuning into our Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone episode. Don't forget to leave us a rating or review, drop us a comment on YouTube, and leave us an answer to our poll and Q&A section on Spotify.
You can find more information about the podcast and our whole podography on our website, bcritics.com, or you can find all the links in our Linktree in the episode show notes.
Next week, we're discussing, you guessed it, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets with a super exciting guest, Kirby of Popcorny Movies. Kirby's a screenplay writer and a fellow Potterhead, so it's sure to be an amazing discussion.
Yes, it is. I'm very excited. So be sure to subscribe or follow so you don't miss it. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
All right, that is it for this episode. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay.
Number one.
I'm so sorry, everyone. We're having a moment. My dogs. For the viewers, I have 3 dogs, and they're having a moment. And they just turned off. They turned off my lights. I'm so sorry. Hold on, everyone. Oh my god, everything is a mess. Okay, one moment. This is when. Hey, you guys, if you don't watch the YouTube, this is why you should. Quality content. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hello. Welcome back.
And we're back.
Hey.
Ooh, is there a
Can you hear
blooper
us?
section? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, there will be a
We'll put
bloopers
one
section.
in.
Hold on. One more time.
There will be a bloopers section just for you.
I get all the bloopers.